first ever episode of Let's Talk Wrestling. Now, this week is an exciting week. Elimination Chamber is live tomorrow, exclusively on the WWE Network. Now, what I'm going to do today is not like what we're going to do every week. We're going to do this when big pay-per-views are coming up. But what we're going to do is we're going to analyze and take a look at the match card this week. Okay, now before I go on, things that happen on SmackDown and Raw we'll be talking about. If you have not seen this week's Raw or SmackDown, don't watch this until you have, basically. Or if you don't really mind not watching Raw and SmackDown, that is perfectly fine. But let's talk about pre-show. Let's talk about the pre-show first. Now, what's going to happen at Elimination Chamber is basically nothing on the pre-show, really. There's going to be one interesting thing, and that's the Miz TV returning, so we know the Miz is going to be there, along with an interview with Daniel Bryan on Miz TV. So either that's going to be very in-depth regarding his current injury status, whether or not he's going to be able to come back, when he might be able to come back, or it's going to be very Miz-like, in which he says he's better than Daniel Bryan because he's not injured. So it's either going to go a very serious look or a very comedic look, depending on which way the WWE decides to skew. And I feel like it's going to go more towards I'm the Miz than here's Daniel Bryan, a legitimate competitor who's injured and we want to have this interview. And they're obviously going to be plugging his book and his DVD. So let's get to the actual Elimination Chamber match card. Okay, now remember, Elimination Chamber is free this month for new subscribers on the network. Always trying to promote the network because I absolutely love it. So, what I predict will be the opening match. Could be a good match, could be terrible. I feel like it should have been moved to the pre-show, to be honest. And that's Neville versus Bo Dallas. Just why? The way that they have been booking Neville has been fantastic. And then they put him in a feud with Bo Dallas. Now, I understand that there is a legitimate storyline there. Bo Dallas was the NXT champion before Neville went and beat him, and then Neville became the longest reigning champion. So obviously Bo Dallas is a little jealous, but that's all it's really going to come down to. I'm hoping Neville's going to take this. There shouldn't be any reason why not, but it's the WWE. They could always throw a curveball. Now, let's talk about the next match, or what I suspect will be the next match. Could steal the show. I personally think it will. And that's the 6-team Elimination Chamber match for the tag team titles. We've got Kid and Cesaro. We've got the Lucha Dragons. We've got the Ascension. We've got Los Matadors. We've got the New Day. We've got another team that I can't quite remember now off the top of my head. There are so many good competitors in this match, with the possible exception of Los Matadors. And it could be phenomenal. Now, a lot of people are talking that the rules might be one pin and the team is eliminated. I'm hoping it goes the other way. I'm hoping that we need 11 pinfalls in order to end the match. Possibly 12 if the New Day can figure out how to get all 3 members in the match, which wouldn't surprise me, seeing as how they are the heels of the match, and not only that, they are the current champions. Who's going to take this? No idea. I'm hoping that the New Day retain, just because they're great as heels. Biggie, Kofi, and Xavier Woods. Xavier Woods is hilarious on the microphone. I don't know if you saw Payback, but if you did, there was a good moment where the crowd started chanting, "This is awesome," and immediately he went on the mic and went, "We know, we are aware of this." So I'm hoping they're gonna retain. Definitely gonna be a very good match. Match after that, I'm hoping will be the women's triple threat match. Well, I guess not hoping. I could go the John Cena match or the women's match at this point. The women's match is going to be good. Okay, no doubt about it. We got Paige, we got Naomi, we got is it Nikki or is it Brie? I can't tell the difference between Nikki Bella and Brie Bella, but whichever one's the current women's champion. How this should go down, I feel like a returning Paige could win this and then go on to feud with Naomi. That might make the most sense. Get the Bellas off TV because they are there all the time and they just bore the crap out of me. I mean, seriously, they are so boring. But the match should deliver, you know. I mean, Nikki, she's not great in the ring, but she's not the worst. But you got Naomi and Paige, two former NXT competitors, which could be just fantastic, really. You know, if they give them the time and they let them go all out. I'm hoping Paige wins it. I just don't feel like it's in the cards for Naomi to win right now. But you know, in all fairness, WWE will probably have Nikki retain, which is just unfortunate. Next match. The champion versus champion where neither title is on the line. Current NXT champion Kevin Owens, the big heel, versus current US champion John Cena, the face of the company. Who's going to win this? Well, let's be honest, it's WWE, and John Cena never freaking loses. However, I would definitely love to see Kevin Owens take it on this one. There's no title on the line, so you know it's not like he's going to be the US champion and NXT champion. And we've also got John Cena, who really doesn't need a win over an up-and-comer at this point. He doesn't need a win at this point. I mean, say what you want about John Cena, but he's been at the top of the company all the time. He definitely does not need it at all. Now, it's going to be a great match, and I'm hoping that Kevin Owens manages to kick out of 2 or 3 AAs, you know, get out of the STF, you know, it could be a really good match. Finish with a pop-up powerbomb or two. It could be amazing, and I'm hoping it will be. In fact, I know it will be. The Elimination Chamber is probably one of the best cards I have seen in a long time. Now we come to what many people don't want as the main event, myself included, and that's Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose. It's going to be a great match. There's no doubt about it in my mind. Dean Ambrose, last seen in that Fatal 4-Way match at a pay-per-view. Everybody suspected him to be the fall guy. Everybody thought that he would be the one to take the pin. He was just kind of there. No, not at all. He got all his dominance in. Randy Orton was the fall guy in the end who ended up taking the pin. And it was a good match. I'll give it that. Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose should be good. There's probably going to be some stupid interference by J&J Security, possible appearance by Roman Reigns, seeing as how him and Dean Ambrose seem to be buddy right now. And Dean Ambrose did manage to get his contract signed on Raw this week. He was arrested, not being allowed to sign his contract. If he didn't sign it by the night it was out, the match wouldn't happen. Obviously, he did get the contract signed. The authority wasn't able to stop him, and it's all set for Sunday. And then we've got my personal main event, second Elimination Chamber match of the night. Notice that there was quite a long break between the two, so we're not going to get burned out with that. And that's the 6-man Elimination Chamber match for the vacant Intercontinental title. Now we've got Bad News Barrett. He's not going to win. We've got Dolph Ziggler. I'd like him to win, but he's probably not going to win. We've got Rusev. Well, we don't have Rusev. Rusev was recently injured on the SmackDown tapings on Tuesday. His leg is in a cast. I've seen the pictures. He's in a wheelchair. They have pulled him from the live events this weekend, obviously. There is a pay-per-view as well. So I'm not sure if he's going to compete. I'm pretty sure he's not going to compete, or if he does, he may be the first person removed. And at this point, I don't know who his replacement might be. You know, they may throw Bray Wyatt in just because he's quite he's a big guy and he's not being utilised at all. And he's got a feud with Ryback, who is in the match of all things. I thought he was a little weird throwing in that Intercontinental scene. I thought maybe Stardust could be in there, or definitely Neville. I thought Neville was going to get in there. And we've got Sheamus, one of the big heels in the match. And then we've got the outlier of R-Truth. Now, a lot of guys, they don't like R-Truth. Like I say, he's terrible. Real name Ron Killings, by the way. A lot of people say he's terrible, he's rubbish. I personally believe that R-Truth is one of the greatest mid-carders in WWE history. I love to see him perform. It would be the ultimate twist if R-Truth won the title at Elimination Chamber. Chamber. I'll be rooting for R-Truth until, unfortunately, he's probably the first or second elimination. But we've been swerved before. But I would love to see R-Truth win the Elimination Chamber. Who's actually going to win it? I really got no idea. I thought Rusev was going to win it. Now that he might not be in the match, everything's kind of up in the air. But anyway, be sure to tune in next week at the wrestling show. You know, we're on YouTube. You can follow me on Twitter at Rawdon Isles. And we're really hoping that this Elimination Chamber is going to be good. Next week, we are going to be discussing more things with the WWE. Obviously, there's going to be an Elimination Chamber Fallout show. And we're also going to be talking about, you know, what happened on Raw and everything. But we're also going to be talking about a little more about the rest of the wrestling world, as we would like to do every single week. For instance, this week, here's just a little, very quick recap about what's happened this week in wrestling. So it looks like TNA has come to some type of agreement with Destination America, staying on the air at least through September. I'm not sure what's going to happen after that. But the big shocking news is obviously Ring of Honor will now be on Destination America on the same now, 1 hour before TNA. Now these are the two biggest indie companies in the world, probably. And personally, I'd rather see Ring of Honor win this mini war than TNA. You know, a lot of guys that work for Ring of Honor now work for the WWE. So it's interesting to see how this dynamic's going to play out between the WWE, Ring of Honor, and TNA. More than likely, WWE will just completely ignore it. TNA, Ring of Honor may have a bit of a fight on their hands, but you never know. This is the world of wrestling. So remember, Elimination Chamber this Sunday only on the WWE Network. There was a lot of controversy, talk about how it might be on some pay-per-view outlets. As of right now, I have not heard it's going to be on any pay-per-view outlets, either here in the UK or in the US. So as far as I know, WWE Network's the only way to do it. $9.99 a month, £9.99 over here, $9.99 in America. Well worth it. This month is free, but obviously tomorrow is the last day. But if you get it, get the network. It's great. All the previous Raws and SmackDowns and ECWs and WCW Monday Night Nitro and every pay-per-view you could possibly imagine, going all the way back to WrestleMania 1 in your house, is everything you can imagine on the network. Plus their own little shows and everything. And on Monday, right after Raw, I am excited for this. That's the return of the Stone Cold Steve Austin podcast with special guest Paul Heyman. My opinion, two of the best people on the mic are going to be on that show. Anyway, I digress. This video has probably gone on way longer than I had expected it to. And stay tuned to the wrestling show. I haven't quite got a name for it yet, but I'm thinking This Week in Wrestling. But let me know in the comments below. Remember, follow me on Twitter. Figure something out, yeah. And hope to see you guys next week. Alright, thank you.